No, the
The
slides.
stream is on.
Oops. Hello, folks. Today we have with us Samir Bhiwani, who is the UX design lead at Google India and was the chief design officer at Scriptbox. Hi, Samir.
Hey, Samad, good to meet you, and thanks for inviting me here.
Thank you for joining in, Samir. Samir, would you like to tell us something about yourself?
Sure. So I'm assuming you can see my slides right now.
Yep, we can.
We go ahead. And so yeah, I mean, I just wanted to give a little bit of background about what I've done because this the topic here was notes to my younger self. So I thought I'll start with where I started my kind of design career, which was in the year 2000. Right, this was the dot-com boom, and at the time there was a portal called India.com. Then I worked with Satyam, which later got taken over by Tech Mahindra. So this is the time when I what I learned at this time was that design should be intentional, purposeful. It should provide value and have a clear benefit for the user, and of course everything was ethical, right? Which was the most important part. These were things that I learned while working in these places. So this was a period where I was kind of now that I look back, it looks like okay, I was warming up, and what I should be doing, right? Then the next couple of years I spent with Oracle, which is about 5 years odd. I spent there, and then with Cisco. So these are core enterprise companies, right? And what I kind of gathered here, what I learned here was that these are very complex applications. So my job as a designer would be to hide that complexity and kind of bring these are generally taken as very transactional things. Oh, as an enterprise user, I'm just going to do this transaction. But eventually, it's you have to think about the user's emotions and see how you can still get them some positive emotion at the end of the day. And it also it's a very large and complex ecosystem in enterprise applications. So you want that you take that into account and not just that transaction they're doing. So this is where I look back and feel that okay, this is a time when I was kind of honing the craft of design and research and things like that. Then the next few years I spent with HP, Hewlett Packard, and Blue Jeans, which is a video conferencing tool very similar to what we're using right now. This was where I also I became a design manager for the first time in HP, and this is where I became accountable for results and for outcomes. And I became responsible for a few designers and developers in my team. And I realized that I also have to let them experiment and fail and learn and balance my guidance with direction and help them be organized and do the best work that they can do, right? So I look back at this period where I was learning to lead, right? And I'm still learning, right? And then the last, just before Google, I was working at Scriptbox, as you mentioned. So this is where I was literally, joined heading the design team. There was no design team to speak of, so I set up the design team and processes within the company. So this was really where I had to kind of create alliances within the company, remove roadblocks, arrange for the resources, and step in. For the team that I'd hired, they came in with some hopes and dreams, and then my job was to ensure that this part of their career is successful with whatever they want to do, and also to motivate, coach them, challenge them, and inspire them to do the best work that they can. And in addition to that, they cannot succeed on their own, so it was really to influence the rest of the organization and impact their culture to be one where good design can thrive, right? And so this was the phase where I look at as learning to inspire, right? So now with Google, as you mentioned, so I'm part of a group called Google Support, and again, an interesting opportunity. I just joined there in September, so we're getting started. It's a new team, so there's a lot of new challenges and at a very different scale of Google, right? So along the way, and the reason you mentioned that I agreed to do this fairly quickly, that I have been doing a whole bunch of coaching also as a form of learning for myself, right? So it's not just trying to inspire you, but trying to motivate myself also, right? So there are groups like Design Lab, and within Blue Jeans also I've helped somebody, kind of grow their career, transition from a totally different field into user research. That person is with one of the top companies in the world right now, with as a senior research role. And there's a group called Own Path, where I'm kind of doing some mentoring and coaching as well, both for design leaders as well as young designers. So this is some of the stuff that I've been doing. And now we'll move on to the notes to self, which was a topic that you challenged me to take up, right? So we'll do that with a little help from our good friend Deadpool. So he's I find this interesting because, I mean, it's a character we all know and like. I hope so. At least I do. But you see a lot of emotions that Deadpool is able to express just by body language, just by even within the mask, what he's thinking, right? And I find that very interesting. So anyway, so thought I'd just tie things up here. So cool. So I've divided this into two parts. One part is the design type of lessons, and the other is the life type of lessons. Okay. So just a few of each. So it won't take too long, but hopefully we can pause and discuss also if you want a little bit more about it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So feel free to, before I move on, I just have 5-6 slides. It's not much at all. Cool. So the first kind of design lesson that I felt was, to learn. When I was learning design, it was not just learn, and I'm a self-taught designer. I did not go to design school. Right? So for me, what I see a lot of designers, young designers saying, "Hey, should I learn Figma? Should I learn Sketch?" Like, fine, learn it. But design is not about the tools. It is about the fundamentals of the design process, of the design theories and all of that. Learn that, right? The tools will keep changing. I mean, I've been working for 21 years now as a designer. I've gone through all the tools that you can imagine. Every few years, the whole world changes, right? And every time you thought, oh, Sketch came and I took Adobe's lunch. Now suddenly Sketches is gone. Everyone is using Figma. Tomorrow there will be something else. So those will keep changing, and you just learn those as while working. You don't have to spend time learning and debating about them, but learn the fundamentals. Those will not come to you naturally. You will always be bound by your instinctive gut decisions. And if your instinct is not informed by the right sources and by the right theories, then you will not take the best design decision that you could possibly have taken at that point of time. And it is subjective anyways, right? So everyone's influences are different, but you have to influence yourself to do that. So that's the learn kind of point. The next one is to share. Share your work early. Discuss your thoughts very openly with others. Where this helps, and this is this is somebody in the company who made this great presentation called Collaboration Headwind. And in the larger organizations that you join, there's a lot of collaboration, and collaboration is successful only when there is a shared understanding. And that does not come without enough discussions, without sharing your thoughts. You cannot work in a bubble with your great design and come back and make a presentation and hope everyone will clap and start building it. No, it does not work in any company like that, whether it's a startup. I have worked with startups, I worked with a large organization. Right? So you have to build a shared understanding, and for that you share. You also share, even if you are early in your career. We all learn different things. There is so much. I mean, I keep my calendar open for young designers to book time and talk to me as well. I learn from them as well if they share with me, because their world is very different from the world that I worked in. Right? It was when I was their age, right? When I was in the first 5 years of my career, things were very different. And yet there were things that were the same. I mean, today also you hear the same challenges. They come back, how do I do this? How do I do that? But still, there are a bunch of things that keep changing. So you share. People will learn from you, even if they are much more senior. There is always something, your unique perspective comes back and can help them. And I think a continuing theme to this is to build relationships across your organization, across the industry. Uh, Now I'm feeling this a lot more with COVID as well, that things somehow end up becoming very transactional. You talk, I talk, we talk about the topic that we are at hand, and that's it, we are done, right? And so this kind of thing, building relationships and not keeping it transactional is very, very critical, because your work gets done by relationships. It does not, no one owes you anything, right? They owe you what you to only return at the most what you have given them. So if you're not giving, what is it that you can expect back, right? And the relationship, when you build a friendship with somebody, it goes beyond just give and take, right? Then it's give and take is transactional, but it has to be something that I don't want anything in return from you, right? And but yet I'm willing to help you, and that is how the seed of a relationship comes. So this was the first section of the kind of the design success kind of things. And before I move on to some of the life side of things, I just want to pause and see if you had any questions or want to discuss or want me to reflect more on any of these three.
Interesting that you said you need to share about, like, the first thing is obviously you try to learn things and try to get get used to with the tools and the concepts that are there. But
Yeah,
also the more important thing is that you share things so that you don't live in a bubble of a feedback less bubble that you are just creating for your own self, because you never will create for your own self, and things are going to be used by other people. So the earlier you learn to collaborate, the better your journey will be. I think that's an important point that you made there. And regarding build relationships, I think that this is this is probably one of the most important things that someone who's starting out, someone who is one of the best in the field, uh, the more they focus on building relationships, the better their journey and the better their thought process, better their learnings from their skills will be. I think that's really important. And would you like to elaborate more on how exactly people who are starting out uh, would start out by building relationships? I have some things in my mind, but I would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on how to build relationships with the experts for people who are
sure.
starting out?
Sure, absolutely. So, see, one of the things is just to be genuinely curious about what others are doing. It's a fact that people love to talk about themselves. You invited me here, I'm talking about myself. I'm very happy to do it, right? It's just our nature, right? So, ask, whoever it may be, ask them very broad, open-ended questions. Uh, See, one of the important things while learning design is to also learn how the business works, right? To learn how technology works around you. It is not just that you make the best design for the user and it is done. A good product has a good balance with design and technology. It has to be feasible in the business, and it has to be technically feasible. It can push the envelope on both of them for sure, but it has to start there, right? And nothing, I mean, if you are working, even if you work for a nonprofit, there are still limitations in the amount of funding that you get and how you use that money. So whenever you are using resources, because whatever you design, the resource is going to be used to develop that. By engineering resources will get used, sales marketing resources will get used, all that is going to happen right down the line. So you are impacting the way resources get used, and you should know how they get used. What is important in the business side of things. So ask those questions as a way to get started, and then you can understand also a little bit about the people. That hey, that's a great point. Uh, how, what has been your background? What did you do? And eventually see if there is something that you can do for them, right? Is there something more that somewhere in their personal life something is they are stuck somewhere, and can you just share a resource with them? Can you make them connect them to somebody? There's always something that no matter, you might feel someone is very accomplished and whatever, whoever it may be, they always have something that they are struggling with, right? It may not be the same as what you have, and maybe you have solved that problem somewhere and you can connect them to somebody. So do a small favor, don't expect anything back. And so then that kind of adds to relationship points, right? And so that kind of helps. And of course there is the off time as well, when there is no pressure to do work. So say you're having lunch, fine, if you're in the design team, you have lunch with the design team every day, you go out with them every day, you hang out with them every day. But once in a while, take some time to go and work with your cross functional peers, your PMs, your engineers, hang out with them, right? uh, get one of them to have lunch with you. No one's going to say no, right? And that lunchtime, don't talk about projects, talk general chit chat, understand about them, what's going on in their life. These are the things which then eventually, when you get back to work, these things matter, right? These things make a difference. Plus you made a new friend, even if it didn't help your work, right? But it does help.
I agree. And adding to that, I think people usually assume that you cannot add value to someone who is an expert in a field, and that's as a beginner or as someone who is in the starting of the learning curve. And I think that's you can get rid of the mindset, and I'll someday try to explain how exactly are you can help people who are in the top of the field. But most times they are things that they are interested in, that they want to get done, they just don't have time to get those things done. So just uh, look out what they are posting, what they're trying to get done, and do it for them, and just text them that, hey, see, you wanted to get this done, I've done this for you, how's it? And that's
Yeah.
that's the seed of a relationship that you can start out when you are just a beginner in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a I remember long back, as a young designer, some executive came to me and said, "Hey, I'm feeling a little awkward asking you this, but I wanted like some, custom T-shirt to gift to my son, and he's into gaming and this and that. I don't know anything. What should I do?" I said, "Fair enough. I was super busy. I had like a deadline. It was already late. It was like 8:30, and I was working." But I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll make something, because it won't take me that long. It's a little bit of context switch, but fine, I can do it. And just give me some time and I'll get it done. Right. And it's you don't have to feel awkward. Thanks for asking. And that's a small thing that I could do. It didn't take me too much time. I knew about gamings. I know how to design a T-shirt, put something on a T-shirt. It's bare minimum skill set for me. But for them, it made a huge difference. They would have struggled for some time and maybe not made something that great. They came back and said, "Hey, my son really liked that T-shirt," kind of thing. So like, wow, okay, great. That's I'm glad I could help. And that also made like other things very cordial between us, right? So I could have a more open and frank discussion. I could feel better about disagreeing, right? Even in a meeting, I didn't feel that bad about disagreeing with this person, because I know that they understand my intention. I'm not disagreeing with them, I'm disagreeing with the idea that they are talking about. So it is not about the person, it is about the content. That then it becomes, so the relationship, a good relationship separates the two, because the other person has a good intent. They also want the best product to go out to the users. But if that's not there, then you end up mixing the two. You end up saying that, okay, this person has a bad intent. No, they do not, right? Their idea could be improved. That's how you look at it. The person doesn't have a bad intent. So,
Agreed. Definitely, you should start building on relationships. I guess you can continue with the slides.
yep. So the next few are just simple life things which I wish I did earlier. And just like investing in building relationships, there is investing in money as well. This is one that my previous company was a fintech. I joined them. I was a customer of theirs for a good couple of 5 years before I joined them as as the head of design. So very topic is very close to my heart, personal finance and investments. And one of the things over and over, and even to myself, everybody who talks about investment, almost 99% of them have made mistakes early in the year. So have I. Right, I've made mistakes. I've invested in the wrong products. I did not invest enough. I did not start early enough. So now that you do, I mean, it's very easy. Just Google for compounding examples. You will see a lot of things. People, those examples of investing from the age of 25 to 35 versus starting at 35. Huge difference where it makes in what you end up with, right? And so that first, from your 20s to 30s, that compounding that happens at that point of time, even if it is for a small amount of money, even if you may not have the a lot of people don't start because they're like, when I earn more I will do it. No, you do it now. Even it may be a small percentage, right? 10%, 20%. You don't have to do too much. Put that in, and you will be amazed. For the first 10 years you may not see anything, but after that, the way it jumps, it is crazy. You will always regret, why didn't I do more, even if you did well, right? So always, start as soon as possible. Someone gave me this advice. I did not take it, and I regret to this day. How it is. But hopefully, people listen to me and take that advice.
They definitely will listen to you.
Yeah. So take that. Get somebody to advise you on that, on where to invest, whatever. Like so yeah, do that. That is one. The other one is around negotiation. So this is one thing that I've been inspired by a lot of people. I've been a little bit lucky in that I had good mentors when I was in my early years, and even now I do. So they looked out for me, they took care of me, but wherever they were not involved, wherever I was at myself, I always felt this thing that do good work, you will get what you deserve. And unfortunately, the life is not fair. The world is not fair. You don't get what you deserve. Okay. You get what you negotiate for. This is the truth of it. No matter what area it may be, the job, your salary, it may be something in your personal relationships. It may be buying a car or a bike or whatever it may be. You will not get what you deserve. You will get what you negotiate. So, figure out, learn some styles of negotiation. There's a lot of material out there. I'm no expert. I'm not going to give any tips on this. There's a lot of good material out there on how to negotiate. Learn that, apply it there are many places to apply it, and you will keep coming at this. Even within the company, getting someone to agree to your design is a selling skill, right? Even that requires negotiation. Time, how much time you get to do the work that you are assigned also requires negotiation, right? So it's there everywhere, every single place. From, it's not just buying vegetables at the market where you're negotiating, that is haggling. It's every single place it's required. So learn how to do it and do it. That is what will get you more. What will at least get you what you deserve. Otherwise, you may not get that. Right? So that's that. For a younger self, next step is definitely take risks. This is the time. It does not, with time, the risk factor does not reduce. It only increases, right? So if you feel that pre 30 there is something that you need to do, do it, because you're not going to be 30 again. You're not going to be 28 again. You're not going to be younger again, right? So take the risk. If it's a startup that you want to start, join, or if it is you want to take a break and do a master's or a PhD or whatever, do it. Whatever it may be, right? Whether it's in your personal life or your career, you want to go and live somewhere else. It's easier. It's not going to get easier than it is right now. That's what I want to say. And the last one, fairly cliche, but stay fit. The body has a regenerative power that only reduces with age. Thankfully, though I didn't do too much, I didn't abuse my body either, so I'm fairly fine right now. But it's one of those things that you can't do enough of. So uh, sometimes it's very easy to spend the whole day, Sunday, or just sit Netflix and chill and binge watch, and those you should do that. There's no harm in doing that, but take time out to work out, stay fit, do some cardio. It's not that hard. Otherwise it just becomes you just become lethargic, and that gives you the energy, because if you want to do these things, you want to take risks and work hard and all that, you need energy to do that, and to do that your body has to be charged up. In lazy mode will not get you there, right? And in your 20s, early 30s, you don't feel that. You feel like you have unlimited energy, and you do. Even in your 40s you have a lot of energy, right? But on a daily basis, that's really what keeps you going much longer and much further. So yeah, that's that's pretty much it.
Definitely regarding the point of negotiation and staying fit, uh, my parents also keep saying that you should not completely neglect staying fit, and that's something that's really, really important in your life. And the negotiation point was, as a designer, you really need to negotiate what your work is worth. If even if you are freelancing, that's probably the most basic use case. But as Samir said, negotiation is useful in each and every uh, point of in your life, and whether it's you are trying to pitch your design to somebody, you are trying to explain your user experience journey to your colleagues, and anything, especially if Samir is trying to say that you should try to learn to negotiate. You definitely should try to learn to negotiate well.
Cool. So that's all I had.
Samir, would you like to do a design review of a case study?
Sure. Absolutely.
Shall I send you on Jitsi or Twitter? I'll,
Yeah, anyway, I think Jitsi chat is open. You can
yeah,
send it. Yeah.
Jitsi. I've sent you a link on Jitsi. And it's a long case study, so you can just. I know that you have only a few minutes for the live stream, so it's okay. You can quickly skim over it. And
Yeah, I mean, in other than this, even while reviewing portfolios for hiring, you just get a couple of minutes.
exactly. That's exactly why I haven't sent you this earlier, because you never really have time for to read a long case study. And would it be fine if you could
Okay. Okay. Um,
if you could also share your screen while you are skimming the
oh yeah.
case study,
Yeah, let me do that.
so uh, the people will know what exactly you are looking at.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
what exactly matters to you when they are when you are skimming the case study.
Yep. Okay. hang on. Okay. All right. So let's see. So this is a dedicated app for FitTuber. So YouTuber. Da, da, da. Okay. Finding someone who needs a platform outside of YouTube and who has content. Okay. Okay. So this is this person's YouTube, and looks like got 4 million subscribers. Not bad. Okay. Okay. So I find this interesting. It's an interesting kind of a different angle to make an app for a YouTuber. And then he's done some person who's written this case study has done some research, which is good. Try to figure out even the audience who follows that person, and then also figure out very important who's going to use this, right? So fitness enthusiasts who follow, and then normal customers who follow. Okay, product recommendations and subscribing to exclusive content. Okay, so interesting. So it's got a little bit of business understanding as well, that okay, there'll be some kind of subscription which enthusiasts may be more interested in going for, and for the others it'd be product recommendations, which is good. From Western countries, and you don't get even those basic ingredients. Sometimes you don't get, or you only get them imported and whatever. So it's good that way. It seems useful from a user perspective. Solves a problem. Okay, so recipes, blogs, feed, store, programs, membership, and a product scan. Okay. Okay. So probably let's see. This is a little small frame, but I'll try to figure out. Okay, membership, non-members. Fine the store. Okay, a barcode scanner. Oh, okay, that's interesting. All right. Okay, I'm probably gonna skip over the wireframes for now. Look at the few mocks that are there. Okay, onboarding was not the focus, so we jump directly into it. Fine, all the sections that were there are here. Feed, store, recipes. Okay. I find this interesting in the sense that home also looks like a feed, but maybe feed is videos. Okay. This is a pattern. I think I've seen it in some popular apps as well. I always find it odd. I always find that no one really taps on more. Hopefully they do, and then there's level of customization as well. Yeah, I mean this this pattern is a little extreme. Unless I'm a major enthusiast, I will not go into more, and I will certainly not change these default settings. I mean, even in, like, say, the Android settings bar or the quick access bar, you have something like this. I don't know how many people even do that. Maybe some techies do. So it's a little stretch, but maybe there is something more could be done here, which is to highlight or surface things which I might find interesting from time to time, and then kind of getting me to explore more rather than edit the tabs. That's a little bit of a, because again, something or the other will get hidden. Your monetization is on store. What if I just hide the store and then I don't see it? So it's a little risky strategy. Recipes. Okay, new collection, trendy. Yeah, so this is interesting. This has a lot of scope from recipes, in the sense that I think some kind of bookmarking should be there, because people come back to the same stuff again and again. If I like something, I'll like to make it again and share it. So maybe some kind of bookmarking could be here, but it's not a bad start. I like the time takes. That's usually a good indicator, saying that, okay, wait, am I willing to spend 30 minutes making something? It's also an interesting place where you could put a hook to actually buy. saying that, okay, if you're lazy or you don't have ingredients, order the ingredients. Or if you don't feel like making something but you want to have this dish, then maybe order it from somewhere. um, so some kind of healthy restaurants near my place or whatever. Okay. Okay, this now, where is this coming from? Blogs, was it in that other menu? Okay, blogs was in that other menu. Okay. Okay, so got there. So again, yeah, so it says more here, blogs there. So that's another problem with this pattern. Okay, so this has bookmarking. Good. I think it could be made a universal content bookmark. Okay, tags for blog. Okay, not bad. Yeah, this is interesting. This is regular. I mean, nothing. Programs, playlist, diet plans. Yeah, this is where customization starts. It's pretty good thing to think about. Okay, this is live now. This is a playlist, and then I can pick my body type, and it'll show me content about that, and I can calculate that. That's pretty good. And then, okay, few videos which are only for premium members. All right. Yeah, I like the fact that it's not overly like being behind people to, but only it's showing me the value that, okay, what will I get for this? It doesn't just tell me that, hey, become a member. It tells me when I reach that content. So first I get to experience what I'm going to get by seeing a member, becoming a member. Okay, so these okay. Right. And pay for this. Okay, regular payment gateway. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that there are familiar patterns in this. Most of it is fairly familiar pattern that most apps have. So it's not like a new, different kind of thing. And okay, so you pay and then it.
Samir, are you being too nice?
No. I mean, wherever I found things that like that more menu and such, I've definitely given that feedback. But these are kind of generic. Yeah, I mean, I'm not spending too much time on this. So
No, you shouldn't actually spend too much time on
yeah, exactly. So I
because
mean,
if you are recruiting, you don't.
yeah, at a high level, I mean, this is more time than I would get if I had like 15, 20 portfolios to look at. I don't know why this is repeated though. Okay. Oh, there is a membership and then there is an individual content. Okay, got it. Yeah, that would have confused me. So that's definitely a different kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, this is fairly generic stuff. Let's see what else is here. This goes into the feed. Okay. Yeah, I think this is fair enough. It's fine. I think there's definitely a lot in this. As an actual, I think what we have to think about is that actually when I release this product, um, I might go slowly, right? First, go with content, try to build an audience, get people to use it on a regular basis, and then, come back with like, product or membership kind of things. So I think that's the only uh, thing that I would say from a strategy kind of perspective. Of course, we design the whole thing, but there need to be a few more features for hooks. Like this is a good hook feature, right? Which says that, okay, this, because having this access to this product catalog and all the details and notes about a particular product, which I can scan outside, these things should be implemented well. Of course, I should be able to find it for all products out there. Only then it's useful. If the first 5 products that I try and they say, no, we don't have information about this, then I'm not going to try it again, right? So that's something to be careful about. Okay, this was that your body type thing. Fine. Okay, so right. So overall, okay. So there's a okay. I think this is good. Overall, overall it's pretty good. I think this designer has put a lot of thought into every section, and looks like they have a system which draws on common patterns and consistency. For the most part, I think some of this. Few things which they could improve are say around color patterns like these grays. Not They don't have the right contrast. They could be a little bit darker, and such. It looks kind of disabled. And like I said earlier, I think bookmarking could be a standard feature across all the content, not just blogs. But overall, it seems to be like they've done a fair amount of work and thought through it. I like the fact that they've included, though I didn't spend too much time seeing it, the information architecture, and so this is the thing, right? Like when you follow a structure, then you get to build consistency, and think about things that way as well. Wireframes also seem to be like done at a fairly detailed level, so that's also good. I think process wise they have followed a good process to come to this point. Overall seems to be fine. I didn't find any major red flags in something like this. I mean, it also made me curious enough to spend some time and look at this and say, oh, okay, what else have you thought of? What else is there? So it shows me that there is a strategy from a product perspective as well as the technical features as well. So that's pretty good. Anything specific that any perspective that you want feedback on?
Definitely. I wanted to ask you what are the things that this person. So the designer of this case study is Sarvesh, and so I
Okay.
wanted to ask you, like, is the case study too long? And since you said that it's you not spend that amount of time, and how exactly should a designer balance the length of a case study and the the thought process that went into it can
Yeah.
can be shown
Yeah.
by the length.
So
How to balance that?
right, right. So see, the balance comes when there is enough of variety, right? So variety and the beginning is what kind of hooks me in, right? So see, you would have noticed in the beginning I spent time on this part, right? Saying that, oh, okay, this is what you're trying to do, and such. And then the other place that I spent time on was this, right? Studying the YouTuber. So these things actually made me more curious, and then I would say that, okay, you know what, I can spend a few more minutes on this one because I'm curious, genuinely curious now about what you have done with this, right? So I think that so there is no right length, right? You could make a very short one, a very long one, but if you hook me, as you consider me as your audience, right? As the end user of your you know portfolio case study, then and you hook me in with something interesting, and you represent it in a good way, then I might be more interested in spending a few more minutes looking at what you have done with it, right? I think that's what it is. So here it's not just like a couple of marks. Okay, there's some annotation, so I know what to look at. I'm not just, so you're showing me something, you're pointing to it, which is which is very important, right? So on its own, it's there. Some designers only put a few screens, and then I don't know what you want me to look at in that. It looks like a fairly standard screen, but saying this, that okay, I've got tags, bookmarks, okay, fine, then I can pay a little bit more attention to it, and think about it a little bit more. So that's how I would look at it. I also got curious about what was feed, and that maybe I realized early on as well that why is it different from home or whatever. You could actually reduce one tab here, but then I want to see, okay, what is there in that. When you say feed, what is there? I was curious also to see that how, what is the business side of things. So how are you going to show these products and whatever. So that's all like fairly standard. I don't think there's any breakthrough innovation other than this barcode scanner and the fact that you would have data about this. I mean, collecting this data and having it represented correctly is a big deal. There is a down the line impact for somebody in engineering and somebody in content side to build this database, unless it's readily available outside and you're connecting to it. But it's a good valuable feature, right? So I found that interesting. So these things kept me kind of hooked to saying that, okay, or kya hai? Like, let's see, let me spend 2 more minutes and see what else is there. This stuff is standardized. I mean, of course, there's a good theory that trying to continue the brand from the YouTuber side of things and stuff. So that's kind of what I feel about something like this.
Thanks, Amir. I know that we have taken about 7 minutes more from what we asked
Yeah.
for, and you have been an awesome guest. I don't know how to say it, but the detailed review of the case study and the thought that went into your talk was quite amazing. And thank you for joining in, Samir. I, I
Thanks a lot.
I'll just end the live stream and then we can chat for a few minutes if you'd like to.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, and thanks to everyone in the audience for spending their time listening to us.
Thank you, folks. I'll just end the live stream now. Bye bye.
Bye.